You see, you are a provocative victim. You provoke stuff, and then when you start being held accountable for it, then you start twisting and turning and making the other person wrong.
All right, ladies, let's be real. No one likes to be around that whiny person who keeps complaining all day, and they always got something going on. They're always complaining over and over, and then they never take control over their life. Anybody like that? Because I know, and I used to be like that. And some of them actually, when bad stuff happens for some reason, because they thrive on pity, they thrive from that attention and that victimhood mindset. Especially for some women, I'm not gonna lie, we do tend to play the victim card way too often. But the problem is that actually hinders us from progressing in life. So today I'm going to show a couple of videos of women who give advice.
Stay away from people who always play the victim whenever they are telling you about a story when it comes to someone else. 9 times out of 10, this means that this individual doesn't know how to take accountability. I'm telling y'all, if y'all just pay attention to how people talk about other people or things that happen to them, you can always tell when somebody has a victimized mentality. Just think about it, right? Go back to certain friendships and or relationships that didn't work out for you. Did they take accountability for the shit that they put you through? Now think back to when y'all first started talking. When they told you stories about their childhood, ex-partners, whatever the case may be, did they say that they played a role in it? I'm telling y'all, pay attention to how people talk about other people or things that happen to them, because a lot of these energy vampires like to play the victim. I'm trying to put y'all on game so you can stop wasting time with motherfuckers that don't know how to take accountability and or lack emotional awareness to dig a little bit deeper. I'm just saying.
I'm going to say the thing that might not sound good as a confidence coach, but I do not like women that put themselves in victim mentality. I'm not that kind of confidence coach that's going to constantly praise you because I don't think that's realistic. Not that I really focus on realisticness when it comes to law of attraction, law of assumption. However, what I'm trying to say is that when you are living in a victim mentality, how can you expect to create a new desire that you actually genuinely want? For instance, if you're sitting here and you're saying, men never treat me properly, men never show up for me properly, I'm always the girl that's chosen second and not first, yet you're not taking yourself out on dates, you're not taking yourself to the gym, you're not doing things for yourself every single day that constitute you as the kind of woman that should be attracting a man that is on a very high standard. Too many women are falling victim to their own circumstances. Like, do y'all not understand that you are creating your reality every single second of every single day? If this isn't a concept that you grasp yet, then you have to start to study law of attraction, law of assumption. Watch The Secret. I've always been very big into manifestation, but for me, manifestation became more realistic when I watched The Secret. It just clicked. Something about that movie really clicked in my mind. And so if you really want things to change, if you really want to start attracting better men, you have to become the change. You have to show up for yourself the way you want a man to show up for you. So stop playing the victim. You're not a victim. It's time for you to grab your reality by the fucking BALLS and tell it where to go. Where do you want your reality to go? Okay, I want to attract better men that are going to bring me roses and take me on dates every single week. Great. Then stop living in victim mentality. Start taking yourself on dates every week. Start bringing yourself to the gym. Start showing yourself some respect. I want to swear every minute. That's why I'm pausing. And they will show up for you the same way you show up for yourself.
Stop playing victim. Nobody wants to constantly hear about your stories about how you have been hurt, how this person has done you so wrong. Just because you have a need to be recognized doesn't mean that people want to continue to recognize you. You just have to be seen as this hurt individual, as this wounded puppy. I need people to recognize that I'm hurting. I need people to recognize how bad this person did me. I need people to kiss my boo-boos. I need people to pat me on my back. No, nobody actually likes to be around somebody who constantly operates in victimhood. Just because you are voluntarily and deliberately ruminating and recycling negative events and negative experiences doesn't mean that somebody else has to be engaged with that. You operating in that victimhood is making it real hard for you to assess reality from a rational place. Most times you are coming from an irrational emotion or an irrational fear. So what happens is you go into these relationships. I'm gonna use relationships as an example. I'm not even gonna talk about friendships, but you go into these relationships and you create a line of victims after you. It's not the trauma that they cannot deal with, baby. Most people can help you navigate the trauma. It's the weapons weapons that you pull out whenever you are allowing yourself to reprocess that trauma, whenever you are constantly and purposely putting that trauma back in your mind. So I'm gonna give you all an example. You go into a relationship and you start operating from an irrational place. You make up all of these stories in your head. Maybe this person has done something. Maybe they go out with friends or something like that and they didn't answer the phone because they're having a good time. Well, my ex, when they were cheating on me, they didn't answer the phone and they said they were with friends. So this person must be doing the same exact thing to me and it's making me feel some kind of way. So I'm going to pull out all of my weapons. Instead of me actually trying to process this and evaluate the irrationality in my thoughts, I'm just going to yell. I'm just going to scream. I'm going to cuss them out. I'm going to start going into a rage. I'm going to bully them. And then I'm going to punish them. I'm going to cut them off. I'm going to block them. I'm going to do all of that stuff. It's not the trauma people can't help you navigate through. It's the weapons that you pull out whenever you are purposely reliving and reprocessing that trauma. And then when this person tries to process, like, hold on, baby, I'm not doing nothing like that. Where is this coming from? Immediately, you got to bring up everything that you went through. No, because this happened to me before. Who cares? This is where the lack of empathy actually comes in. What makes your suffering greater than that person's suffering? You have created pain and hurt in this person by the weapons that you pulled out because of something that happened to you in the past that you are making them suffer from. That's what I mean. It is a vicious cycle and it creates a lot of victims in the path. You create a lot of hurt people. You influence a lot of pain and discomfort in people because of your victimhood. Stop playing victim. It's not healthy for you and it's not healthy for the people who come in contact with you. Nobody has to deal with you if you're operating in that victim mindset. You're not the greatest person to be around. I hope you figure it out. There's too many resources for you to actually heal that victimhood and that victim mindset. Just like you can get on this app, the app you're watching me on, you can get on other apps, you can get on YouTube, you can find videos to help you get past that victim mindset to a more empowered mindset. Realize you are killing the relationships and the friendships whenever you are constantly operating in that place. Nobody's going to keep patting you on your back. Eventually, people are going to walk away. Happy, healthy relationships and happy healing, y'all.
People that have a victim mentality also think that they're above communicating issues with other people. They refuse to have the difficult conversations because these conversations not only hold them accountable, but it also holds you accountable. People with a victim mentality actually prefer to bait you into making a mistake. So instead of communicating something that they don't like, that is a boundary that they don't want you to do, they won't say anything to you and they will kind of wait for you to make that mistake. And when you do make that mistake, they will play victim. Oh my God, you overstepped my boundary. Oh my God, you're such a horrible friend. Oh my God. But they never initially communicated that with you. I've used the peanut butter analogy to help clarify this. Say if I'm allergic to peanut butter and we become friends, how are you going to know that I'm allergic to peanut butter? Unless I communicate that with you. Or you somehow steal my medical records, or you see me having an allergic reaction right in front of you. That's the only way that you're going to find out that I'm allergic to peanut butter. But people that play victim will not communicate that they're allergic to peanut butter with you. They will allow you to eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in front of them, and they will not say anything. But they will act butthurt. They'll give you the silent treatment. They'll give you the cold shoulder. Their energy is going to change. They're going to ignore your text messages. They will play victim. This puts you in an uncomfortable position because now you're trying to hyperfixate, hyperanalyze whatever happens in that interaction to figure out why they're mad at you. And sooner or later, they are going to try to bait you. They're not going to tell you that they're allergic to peanut butter until one day you offer them a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and they will eat it. And they will pretend that they didn't know. And then they will have an allergic reaction right in front of you, making you feel horrible about yourself. And then they are going to play victim even more to showcase that you're a horrible person and that you purposely try to hurt them. But they will frame it as a boundary. They overstepped my boundary. They tried to hurt me. They did, like, it's ridiculous. They could have easily avoided this whole fiasco by communicating that they're allergic to peanut butter in the first place. So don't fall prey to these manipulation tactics so they can continue to play victim.
Sis, can I share something with you? We really have to stop using the fact that my husband didn't say this to me correctly, so I couldn't take the correction. It's not that he didn't say it to you correctly. As a matter of fact, he's tried to tell you that very same thing many times, very nicely. But until he maybe raised his voice or got really direct with you, You weren't able to even hear that you needed the correction. It's not the way he said it. It's the fact that you don't want to be corrected. You don't want him to tell you anything, and you think you always right and you can't be wrong. And then when he does try to correct you and does maybe raise his voice a little, then you try to flip the script and play the victim and say, you don't know how to treat me, and you don't love me, and you don't talk to me correctly. Ladies, take off the size 12 diapers and grow up. It's time to mature emotionally, so that when you receive correction, you can receive it and use it to your benefit and become better. Remember that today and carry on.
Motherfuckers love to talk about your actions, but don't want to talk about what caused the action that you did to them. I hate when a motherfucker try to play victim after they done kick some shit off with you. Like, you gonna start all this shit up with me, and then when you catch the reaction that you wasn't expecting to catch out of me, now I'm this person. Now I'm a fucked up individual. Now I'm this and I'm that. But you brought this out of me. This what you wanted out of me. This what the fuck you steady tiptoeing and doing.
Stay away from people who always play the victim whenever they are telling you about a story when it comes to someone else. 9 times out of 10, this means that this individual doesn't know how to take accountability. I'm telling y'all, if y'all just pay attention to how people talk about other people or things that happen to them, you can always tell when somebody has a victimized mentality. Just think about it, right? Go back to certain friendships and or relationships that didn't work out for you. Did they take accountability for the shit that they put you through? Now think back to when y'all first started talking. When they told you stories about their childhood, ex-partners, whatever the case may be, did they say that they played a role in it? I'm telling y'all, pay attention to how people talk about other people or things that happen to them. Because a lot of these energy vampires like to play the victim. I'm trying to put y'all on game so you can stop wasting time with motherfuckers that don't know how to take accountability and or lack emotional awareness to dig a little bit deeper. I'm just saying.
People don't be offended by the truth. They be offended because you called out the truth. Simple as that. They don't want to hear any other narrative that makes them look bad. Any narrative that goes against the narrative they have already positioned into the world that makes them look like either the victim or the hero, but never the villain. I personally think that people be a little bit more self-aware than they be led on. But they would rather ignore the elephant in the room. The elephant could be sitting right on their laps and they would duck and dodge and duck and dodge. So how dare you call out the elephant they are intentionally trying to ignore? So with those type of people, you have to allow them to live in their own delusional world. It's only going to be nothing but a fuss and a fight for you. So save yourself from that.
Everything in life is meant to teach you if you are willing to learn from it. All the way down to abuse, all the way down to being lied to, all the way down to being betrayed, all the way down to losing things, all the way down to grief, all the way down to betrayal. You can learn from everything. But your first point of learning from something is choosing not to be a victim. Because even if they did you wrong, even if life is unfair, you can always change the narrative and find out, how does this situation work for me and not against me? What is it that God wants me to learn from this? Who is God trying to force me to become as a result of this? Because there's always a reason for everything you go through. Now, you can be a victim, but when you learn the lesson, you start to realize that you weren't a victim after all. You were just a student to a situation. You were just a student to your environment. You were simply a student and you learned your lesson. Victims stop being victims when they start learning the lessons of the thing that victimized them.
I feel like somebody needs to hear this. Stop playing victim. That's not a good look for you. Let's get out of the victim phase, victim mindset. Let's do some shadow work and take accountability for our actions. When you walk around fully with that victim mindset, you're really hurting yourself. You're not hurting anybody else because you're not growing into your authentic self. How can you be your authentic self and how can you grow and glow up when you're still in denial? And once you build that victim mentality, now all of a sudden everybody owes you something. And that's not how the world works. You will be extremely disappointed and miserable throughout your whole life if you don't accept the terms of some accountability on your end. And accepting accountability is not for anybody else but you. It's just like forgiveness. Once we forgive, we don't forgive for the people that harmed us or caused us trauma. We forgive for ourselves, so we don't have to carry that baggage with us. So do some shadow work, look deep and hard, take some accountability sometimes. Get out of that victim mindset. It's not cute anymore.
All right, guys. Do you know anybody who always plays the victim mindset? Let me know in the comments down below if you know anybody who acts like this, or even if you feel like you act like that and you're trying to change. So let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, turn on your post notifications so you know when I post next. See you next time.